Good evening, DTLC family and friends. How is everybody doing this evening? How has your week been? And most importantly, how are you getting on with the changes we've been learning together here at DTLC? Please do tell us in the chat. We would love to hear from you. Tonight is actually quite special because we have officially passed the 2-month mark of the DTLC season 13. That is something worth celebrating. Many people start lifestyle change programs with great enthusiasm, but somehow along the way, life happens and they stop. But look at us now. We are now in week 9. At this point, there is no turning back. We are going forward. We are going to finish what we started. But before we get into tonight's topic, here is our Did You Know? Did you know that the choices we make on our plates can affect not only our health, but the health of our planet? Healthy eating and caring for the environment can actually go hand in hand. Choosing more plant foods, using what we buy, and reducing food waste can support our health while also reducing pressure on the environment. And that is why here at DTLC, we introduced to the family DTLC Green Habits. Every Monday is Meatless Monday. That is today. It's not about saying meat is bad. It is simply about giving other nutritious foods like beans, lentils, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds a chance to take a center stage on our plates. And then every Friday, we have a zero waste day. And the challenge is very, very simple. Take what you can finish and finish what you take. We want to become more conscious about our portions and reduce unnecessary food waste. So DTLC family, we are learning that lifestyle change goes beyond blood sugar and weight. We can take care of ourselves while we also take care of the planet. So this brings us beautifully to our week 9 topic, circadian rhythm, our internal clock. And as usual, we have an amazing panel with us this evening. Well, these professionals have become our friends and an important part of the DTLC family. We truly appreciate their continued support. We have, as usual, our lead dietitian, Dr. Ojwang, together with our family doctor and diabetes care specialist, Ms.Jalang'o. Tonight, we are also going to be doing things just a little bit differently. We have a live participant testimonial because sometimes the most powerful lessons come from hearing what someone else is actually experiencing on this journey. We will also have a review of the topic that we posted during the week on conscious eating, followed along by a question and answer session. So bring your questions, whether it's about diabetes, nutrition, blood sugar, something we've covered during the DTLC program. That will be your opportunity to ask the questions. Then, of course, right after that, we'll dive into our main conversation, circadian rhythm. So are we ready? Let's get started. We are going to start this evening with someone very special, a live testimonial. We have with us our dear Mary from Busia, who joined DTLC about 2 years ago, and that was during DTLC season 7. Well, Mary, we would love to hear from you. It's been 2 years since you completed the DTLC. How has the journey been? How is life after DTLC? So, Mary, over to you.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome.
Am I coming? Now, why is my... Okay. Here I am.
Lovely.
Still in Busia. It's raining.
Okay. Nice to see you, baby.
Yeah, hi, welcome. Everybody.
Hello.
This is season 13.
Yes.
Yeah. As usual, I'm a life member of DTLC season 7. And I'm not leaving. I'm a life member. And I just want to share with you my journey of DTLC. And I want to say that even when you hear me laugh, I laugh like a winner. I laugh like a DTLC member. I smile like a winner because at one time I was always in pain. I've shared that before. I was always in pain. My legs were burning me up. I had very severe chest pains at one time. And of course, when a parent is sick in the house, everybody is very worried. Then I went to hospital and the doctor looked at my legs. Daktari, ulisema that doctor wa miguu anaitwa nini?
Podiatrist?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I went to hospital and they told me I was diabetic. And actually, they told me I was risking a heart attack. And for the first time in my years, I'm now 62, for the first time I was admitted because the fear was I was going to have a heart attack. So I was put on medication straight away. And I was there, depending on medication, powerfully, I was like at 100, was it 1,000 milligrams of the medicine I was glucose. So, and I was taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. So that was really bad. Within no time also, it was like my pressure was going very high. So I was feeling bad. And like anybody else, when you are diagnosed with diabetes, it's like magonjwa sugu, chronic disease. You are waiting to die. And people will come in. Everybody came in and everybody was advising me about ugali ya wimbi, about ugali uji ya wimbi, about everything. It was like usikule nyama, usikule mayai, usifanye nini. That becomes a very boring life. And that is what I had surrendered myself to. And I quickly insured my life with the Old Mutual because, of course, now I knew with the diabetes, it's going to be very, very expensive. My life is going to change to become so expensive medication. Everybody, my children were like, we have to insure you. We have to make sure that your medication, you don't miss. So after some time, we got a message from DTLC telling us about their partnership with Old Mutual. And I was like, yeah, why not? So I jumped in and we started learning. And I want to say DTLC made us to understand ourselves, to understand who we are. And it's no wonder it is called a life change. They made us understand who we are. They made us know that diabetes is not a death sentence, which was really beautiful for some of us. And before I could wake up with my fasting sugars at 12, 15, 12, 15, if it is very low, it could be 9. But when we started off the DTLC, at first it was tough because it was really, you have to change your habits. You have to change how you eat, Yeah, the thought of just like kuacha ugali, it was like, yeah, I was eating ugali ya wimbi, but I was eating a big portion, of course. Yeah, but now with the DTLC, I realized even that brown ugali was still not good the way I was eating it. And even if I ate ugali kisiagi, the one that the whole meal, it was still okay as long as I was observing the portions. DTLC taught us like about vegetables, and these days we normally say no meat. Is it no meat Monday? For me, meat has become a rare thing in my house, and I don't miss it. By the way, I really love the pork. I really love the pork. But meat is no longer a necessity in my house. It is no longer something I'm like struggling about. Because of this program, I have a very beautiful kitchen garden. So me, I have my fresh food, fresh vegetables. Like now I'm going to eat saka this evening. I have my managus, I have fresh vegetables. I don't buy vegetables. and some things that we used to imagine. I liked our teachers because anytime we posted our foods, they would cycle if it is too big. They would, you know, the way we normally tell our children, don't eat this, that is junk food. That's how Dr. Jalang'o and her team were treating us actually. They would just cycle. You would go to a hotel, order food, and then they will ask you, will you finish all this ugali? You know, and for me, it was funny. The journey has been fun. It has been fun. And I got friends there, and sometimes I would even inbox them and ask them, are you finishing that ugali? Because I know you are going to be attacked. I remember we had one of us who used to eat on so many plates. And it was a big struggle. It was a big struggle getting him to put his food in one plate. It was fun. We all used to laugh at each other. DTLC has taught me to make fresh dishes. You know, would make fun, like somebody would really post something very like a chef describing very complicated foods, and I would ask, which one is this? What is this? How do you make this? So in the real sense, for me, DTLC has made me enjoy my meals more. It's not boring. Having diabetes is not boring. It's not boring, not at all. Actually, for me, it is really something beautiful. Because I've learned to make new dishes. I've learned to eat things that I never imagined I would eat. Because I remember one time I ate okra raw. Can you imagine raw okra? I just cut it in slices and I ate. Then I posted and said, hii DTLC pia itanionyesha maneno. You can see, I've eaten raw okra. But today I normally eat this other one called what? The round one. What is that thing called? Ile nye inakuanga imetirinya. Ile mrefu. What is it called? Cucumber. Yeah, I eat raw cucumber. Those are things I never imagined. You come to my fridge, you get purple cabbage. I eat a lot of lettuce. To a level, sometimes I go out to a hotel, I'll just eat lettuce for breakfast. And I feel good because anytime we go out, my work takes me to hotels a lot. Anytime we go out, you know, people will be asking me, the chef will be asking me, Madam, Kwani, what is the problem? You are just, I say, yeah, I'm diabetic and I'm on this program.
Okay, so let me ask you, Mary, thank you. Let me ask you one or two questions. So how did the posting of food help you? You know, people who are posting food, how did that help you?
For me, it helped me a lot. And remember, I was number 3. I got a certificate for posting food. It really helped me because, one, it made me disclose who I am. You know, it made me disclose who I am. I remember one time you cycled was it ugali? Yes, you cycled. I only got one circle. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to have this again. It really helped me, that posting of food, because it taught me what is right and what is wrong. And it also taught me what portions I should be taking. Because I remember one time I went for that plate, you know, that plate that has divisions. I bought that plate. And I think I put ugali in the wrong place. Nilikuwa nataka kufanya shortcut. So I put ugali in the big one. And you told me, no, ugali should be in the small one. You know, so that posting of food actually makes you understand yourself better. And with you people advising us, I've told you today I'm able to advise others. Today I'm able to advise others. So that posting of food actually has made me form a habit. I've just said, for me, meat is no longer a necessity in my house. It's no longer a necessity in my house. I've really learned to eat vegetables. I'll just give a funny example. The other day, I'm a member of the Busia Court Users Committee. So on Friday, the Chief Justice was in Busia. So we went and there was a lot of food. I said I had an accident, I'm on crutches. So this guy came from the hotel, the caterer came and he was like, I just follow, I tell him what I want. Like he will be serving for me. So we went, they had tiny brown ugalis. I said, weka hiyo moja. He put one. He thought I'm going to say mchele pia weka. I said, that one, no. Chapati, no. I put a bit of chicken, meat, no. Yeah, no. Then tukafika kwa mboga, I said, weka mboga mingi. Then he asked me, na hiyo tu utashiba? You know,
say in English.
like it disciplines you. That that posting of food disciplines you. Okay, the caterer asked me, will you be full on that? What you have picked, will you be full? And I remember during this journey, we learned something on our relationship with food. Our relationship with food. Many times we normally say, you know, I cannot help if I see chicken. I can't help it. It just calls me. I cannot help if I see pork. I cannot help it if I see nyama choma. You know that we have something in Kenya, nyama choma. And we make food to rule over us. We make food to speak for us. But I want to say with the DTLC, I learned that I had power over that food. I had power over that food. Yeah, because I know my health depends on that food. My sugar depends on that food. And even today, whenever I said my sugar never reaches like 6, if it reaches 6, I ask myself why. And when I ask myself why, I'm able to answer that question. I have to answer that question. Why has it gone high? Oh yeah, I ate this. I did this. I'm able to answer that question. I'm no longer somebody who just lives by chance. No, I don't live by chance. And as I end, I want just to say I'm not dying of diabetes. I am repeating that again. Me, I'm dying of old age.
What happened with your diabetes? You're diagnosed with diabetes. You did DTLC season 7. You're a life member. What happened with your diabetes? What happened with your weight? And how has it helped you with your recovery?
When I started off, I was 102. Oh my God. I was weighing 102 kgs. And when I joined this program, and I was weighing 102, and I had tried skipping rope. I had tried all that. And then I was like, my genes don't allow people to go thin. But with the DTLC, I found myself just going low and low and low. This time, because I had an accident, I'm not working much. I'm now at 87 from 102. I think that is a very big, because I have given myself, like I want to go to around 75. I want to go to around 75. That is my target weight.
So you lost 15
and I know
kilos
with the observing my diet, yes, I lost 15 kilos in the season. I became so light. My pains went, like the pains I was having in my chest, in my legs, they just disappeared. They just disappeared. And I said before that I was involved in a road accident. And when I was admitted, I was going to undergo a big surgery. And the doctor asked me, like, what are the issues? And I said, I'm diabetic. And he said, yeah, healing might be a challenge after this, you know, opening me up. And I want to tell everybody on this program that I healed faster than those who are not diabetic. Because within 2 weeks, I had healed so well that it was even hard removing the threads. Actually, they had to cut me to remove some of the threads that were stuck now. And I'm completely healed. I just have a small scar. And that is because I was on this program. My sugar is very low. And so the healing became so good. I'm actually somebody who really, I meet people, I talk about DTLC. When I meet people and it's like, you know, my mom is diabetic, my dad is diabetic, people who are talking about diabetes like it is a death sentence. I normally tell them I'm also diabetic, but I am determined to reverse it, and I will reverse it. And it is possible you can reverse it, but it depends on you. We have the knowledge, but it depends on you. How you use that knowledge, it depends on you.
So thank you so much. So Mary, we
Yeah.
have people who've been in this season 13, and we are just starting week 9. What can you tell them to encourage them to do the work? Because for you to achieve very good control of your blood sugar, for you to achieve weight loss, for you to be talking happy after 2 years, you're still on a good trend. You did the work. So what can you tell the people in this season and anybody watching?
Yeah. First of all, I want to advise people on this is season 13, that you are all brothers and sisters. I remember when we started off at first, it used to be very difficult to post our results, like your blood sugar, to post it. Yeah, it was like, confidentiality. I would see people were like posting their blood. But that posting for me was very, very good because we advised each other. We asked each other, why is your blood short? That sharing of experience was something very, very nice. You would see maybe somebody's blood is low, then tomorrow it is very high. Yeah, you didn't know maybe as teachers, but I got so many friends in that on our season 7. I have so many friends. I have
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got so many friends. I got so many friends. In fact, one of them came all the way from was it South Nyanza, and she wanted some of the bananas that I have uku. So she has planted the bananas. She said a vehicle came and picked bananas, green bananas.
Yeah.
So you are all friends, advise each other, feel free to share with each other, feel free to tell each other what triggers you. I remember we had somebody from Kisii, one of our members from Kisii, and he used to do very well with the yellow ugali. He was one of the best. His results used to be very good. So he was doing very well with the yellow maize, yellow ugali. And then I also thought I can do yellow ugali. And I got the maize and I siagad and I took yellow ugali and my blood shot, my sugar went very high. It triggered me. So when you are sharing with each other, it also teaches you that we are different. What is good for me may not be what is good for you. Me, I'm okay with ripe bananas, but I remember one person there said on our season, saying for them, banana is a trigger. Me, watermelon is a trigger. So when you're sharing, it really teaches you what your body is. And the DTLC, I think, also teaches us that we are individuals. We are given this information, but it all reacts on us as individuals. You will hear somebody saying, people will post their sweet potato, and their sugar is very good. It does not mean that sweet potato is also good for you. It might not be good for you, like I'm not very good with the sweet potatoes, but I eat very, very tiny if I must do a sweet potato. So that posting food, that posting your results really makes you get advice even from others. Apart from the teachers, you get advice from others. You get, I remember somebody had called me also during that time to ask about njugu karanga. For me, it is like I do a lot of snacking with njugu. I was not very fond of cheese. Today, cheese is one of my shopping. Avocado is one of my shopping, and they do for me good. And diabetes for me, DTLC for me has even taught me how I got diabetes. Because with my new life now, I'm able to look back and see some things I used to do. Let me tell you, I love the chocolate. One time I went to Nairobi and my daughter just took me out, and she took me to this ice cream parlor and we ate ice cream. We are both diabetic, but she's not doing well like me. I'm actually pushing her to enter on this program. Yeah, that we live sometimes very careless lives. You go to this place umeenda harusi, you want to eat a bit of chapati, a bit of rice, a bit of ndoma, a bit of... It's not good. Me, these days, I see the way people eat and I feel pain, unfortunately. I actually feel pain.
Yeah.
I actually feel pain. And there are some of my friends have told, "Well, utapata diabetes if you don't have." Yeah. There are some I tell, "Well, are you diabetic?" Oh, then you are going to be, you are a sure candidate. With this eating, I'm disciplined. Today I'm disciplined about my food, and I'm very proud about it.
And we are
And
very proud of
I'm
you.
very, very proud about it.
yes, we are
Yeah.
also proud of you. Thank you so much for
Me, I'm
coming
very proud of you people.
to share your story with us. Dr. Jalang'o, anything to add?
And I hope season 13 is posting their food, and you are making those and you are making those big circles on their plate.
Yes, we are.
Mary Makoha, congratulations. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. I think you had a good experience in at DTLC. I'm really grateful you took the opportunity to make friends. And I think you said something that's very, very important.
Yeah.
No matter the shared experiences, we are very individual in the way we react to certain foods. That individualism is very important, and that is why what works for somebody does not necessarily work for somebody else. So thank you very much for the experience that you had while you're in DTLC. But I think what is most important is beyond DTLC, you still keep those principles. So keep it going, and congratulations, Mary. It really pays off when you make the most of the investment that you put into DTLC. Thank you, Mary.
Yes. And before even we go on to the
Thank you.
next
And
session,
it's not
I always
expensive. Actually, my life has become cheaper.
Oh, thank you for adding that. Yes. So I always remember Mary. I think she was my
Yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
participant. Like when we were talking about portions, she was fighting us. How is that possible? But look at her. Anything we said, not sleeping at night, not eating meat at night. How is that possible? But she did the work. So what Mary teaches us is that we have to do the work. We have to do the work so that you can get your results. Look, usually when somebody has an accident, when you're diabetic and you have an accident and you have to go through surgery, Dr. Jalang'o, how is recovery for somebody with poor control for diabetes if they've had an accident?
Oh, recovery is usually very tragic because when your blood sugar is high, especially above 10, your white blood cells do not function, and your healing factors also are paralyzed. So your healing is slow. These are the people who have wounds that take so long to heal. But if you have diabetes and you're well controlled, healing is just like anybody else who doesn't have diabetes. So keeping yourself in good control is a great factor to your healing when you're ill, or even when you have an injury or have to go undergo surgery.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I like what Mary also says, that it's not a death sentence, and it doesn't matter. This season is about diabetes, but whatever condition you have, it's not a death sentence. Remember the natural doctors. Remember, we're just adding evidence to it, but what you're actually teaching is the natural doctors. Yeah. Lydia, what do you have to say? Thank you so much, Mary. I can never thank you enough. Thank you for encouraging the participants. Thank you for giving of yourself. Thank you for doing the work so that you're a good example to all of us, not just the participant, but us. If I think about what you're doing, I have to be disciplined, and that's what keeps me going. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. We totally thank you, Mary. Just hearing from you after 2 years since you completed DTLC program. Indeed, lifestyle change is not simply about what happens during the weeks of the program. It's also about what we carry with us even afterwards. And of course, the goal is not simply to finish the DTLC program and go away. The goal is to leave DTLC with habits that will continue long after the program has ended. Thank you, Mary. We appreciate you. Now, we move on to a recap. Last week's topic that we
Did they
posted,
have, Lydia, before recap,
yes,
do we have any
yes.
questions for Mary? Does any participants have one or two questions?
All right, we can take that. Yeah.
Yeah, any questions going once? Any question for Mary or comment? You can raise your electronic hand. We can unmute you. Okay.
All
People are
right.
satisfied.
Okay. It was that good.
Yeah.
All right. So last week we posted for you the topic that we couldn't have due to unavoidable circumstances. It was on stop emotional eating and start conscious eating. So today we want to have just a brief recap. We really hope that you got a chance to watch it. If you haven't, we can post it again. Please take some time and watch it. So Dr. Jalang'o, Dr. Ojwang is going to help us with this recap, and she's going to focus on start conscious eating. So please pay attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Lydia. I guess I'll do a quick presentation and just emphasize on the last few slides that I really want people to understand. So this is conscious eating. What is conscious eating? Yeah. So, yeah. Practice conscious eating. So conscious eating is eating with full awareness of your hunger, your food, your emotions, and your body signals. You need to be aware. Why am I eating? Am I eating because I'm hungry? Why am I eating? Am I eating because I have emotional? I'm hungry. Is that hunger an emotional hunger, or is it real hunger? All right. And then what are you eating? What are you eating? How much are you eating? So really being conscious is being fully aware of what you're eating, okay? Your hunger, your emotions, and your body signals. Very important. So some of the things that you want to do when you're conscious eating, people do a lot of things, a lot of things. So one of the things that you want to do, don't mix eating with other activities. You know what happens when you're watching television. What happens? You're just watching and you're just eating. You're just watching and you're just eating. So, or you're working on your laptop, you're eating, and so you're not concentrating on eating. And so this is one good definition of not eating, not being conscious about your eating. So before you eat, take your time. You work so hard. You prepared the food. Just take that 20, half an hour, sit aside and enjoy your food. You deserve it. Okay? Then what's also important is you want to know what you're eating. You want to examine the ingredients of the food you're eating. Look at the nutritional content of the food you're eating. Educate yourself on what you're feeding your body. Like what are you actually eating? What is this food? And the more you do that, the more you'll be conscious when you're eating the same thing day in, day out, which now I see people are eating differently. We have quite a variety. We see plates. People have become creative. People are eating raw vegetables. I'm so proud of all of you, yeah. So the more, when you think about your food, you educate your food. And if you're eating asparagus, for example, you're not sure, then you can just Google or ask in the group, what's asparagus? What are the nutrients there? So you want to know what you're eating. Remember, conscious eating is being fully aware of what you're eating. Then the other thing, are you hungry before you eat? Are you hungry? Okay? Is it the hunger in your stomach or is it the hunger in your head? Because we know we can eat. We are emotional eaters also. So why are you eating? Are you actually hungry? And remember what we said, if you follow the portions of your food, then you will, when you get hungry earlier, then it means you're eating too little. Maybe you're getting hungry at 11 instead of 1 o'clock, then you're eating too little. And you actually get hunger pangs, then you're eating very little. And so you're not supposed to get hunger pangs, but you're supposed to feel hungry. So you need to be aware that why I am eating is because I am hungry. And this hunger is coming from your stomach and not your emotions. Okay? We've looked at, also examined the food, look at the colors, look at the composition, smell it, how does it taste, okay? Then what's important is we need to chew our food, okay? Do you know how many times they say you need to chew? This is very, very different. Many people say many things. How many times do we need to chew our food? Is there any information on the chat? How many times? Try me. Somebody's put here, if I don't feel hungry and it is time to eat, should I eat or should we wait until I'm hungry? You don't need to eat. This is what I'm saying. Why are you eating? You're not hungry. Consciously eating, you're not hungry, okay? So people say you chew. People say chew 20 times, 32 times. So what we want to do, check. When you eat food, just eat normally, but count how many times you chew. If you're just doing 1, 2, 3, 4, swallow, that's too fast. You need to chew just a little bit longer as you sever in the flavors. Okay? Yes. So how is your stomach? Okay? Yes. So usually as you eat, you actually feel the hunger, you feel the hunger levels reducing, you feel your stomach is filling up, and you should not feel full until you're stuffed. You see, by the time you're feeling stuffed, you have overeaten. So listen, feel the sensation of hunger fade away slowly with each bite. You can actually feel it. It is something that you can feel. Like if you're really, really hungry and you take a piece of sweet, you can see the hunger completely disappears. Okay, but it comes back later in the bang. So even when you're eating, you can be able to really appreciate what you're eating, okay? So you need to fill your stomach, feel it like it's empty. So when it's full, then you need to stop because you have already consumed enough, okay? So mindful eating tips. So you need to know your body's personal hunger signals. You need to develop healthy eating environments. And remember, let's go back to hunger signals. If you don't take enough water, your hunger signals are always overemphasized when you're dehydrated, overemphasized. So then you always tend to eat more, than you should. So make sure you're meeting your hydration status. We say 35 ml times your body weight and distribute it through the day. So develop healthy eating environments, meaning don't eat next to your computer, don't eat while you're working, just step away from work, step away from the television, and give yourself the time that you deserve. Let your body catch up to your brain, you see, as you eat, because it's filling up, it's filling up. Let's not be emotional eaters. You're hungry from the stomach, then you're eating, all right? Yeah. So let's look at what is mindless eating and what's mindful eating. So mindless eating means that you'll be eating past full and ignoring the body signals. You're full and you're just eating. That is mindless eating. So you're not paying attention. So mindful eating will be listening to your body and stop when you have that full satisfaction signal. In fact, I should use the word satisfaction, not full. So remember, you're not supposed to be stuffed. Okay? Then eating when emotions tell us to, like you're bored, your emotions are telling you, eat something. That's mindless eating, all right? So mindful eating is eating when bodies tell us to eat. You're hungry and your energy levels are low. Eating alone and random times and places, okay? I must confess that sometimes when I'm working from home, there are days when I'm just ravenous. I am eating, I finish eating, then I go look for nuts. I like nuts. So I look for nuts and then I'm always looking for food. Then I have to leave the house and go to work, Doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes I'm just like, wow, what's going on here? So be careful. If you're eating and you finish eating and you're looking for something, those are poor relationship with food or emotional eating. What would be good is eating with others and set times and places. Sometimes you live alone, of course, that doesn't matter, but you need to be able to eat at set times and in a set place, yeah? Eating foods that are emotionally comforting. That's mindless eating, because we all have our emotions. You're like, oh, maybe lots of chocolate or lots of fruit, or, something also very fatty or fried this and that, Occasionally we can do things like that, but no, if your mind, your emotions are always telling you eat this, then we have a problem. So mindful eating will be eating foods that are nutritionally healthy. So you always want to make an effort to eat healthy, to feed your body healthy. Let your body be able to thank you. Eating and multitasking, that is going to make you eat more for sure. So avoid eating and multitasking. Like we've said, take time off eat in an environment that's for eating, not for working. Okay? Mindful eating, when eating is just eating. That is mindful eating, all right? Consciously considering a meal an end product. That's mindless, like considering where the food comes from. Because maybe you've seen my post. Sometime back, we had 15 to 16 elephants die from cyanide poisoning after feeding on a tomato farm in Kenya, somewhere near Tsavo West National Park, okay? So, of course, the source of the cyanide poisoning is still being investigated, but 15 elephants died from eating tomatoes in a farm. So what does that mean? You actually need to think about where your food comes from. It's not something you can ignore, And if you pay attention to your food, you can tell. These vegetables, I feel like there's a lot, it has a lot of metal. If you just eat, and not think about it, then you actually will not know if you're eating. Even sometimes you're eating bad food, You're eating food that's a bit stale, but you can't tell because you're just running, or you're eating and doing something else, you're not paying attention. And then after that, you're having a running stomach, or you're sick and you're wondering what happened. So remember, we have to pay attention to our food, okay? Yeah, so the challenge for the week, which was supposed to be, is pause, ask, am I hungry or emotional? Okay, understand the feeling, slow down while eating, and evaluate the fullness, okay? So some notes that I want you to take down is this. Why do we eat, or why do I eat? Ask yourself that. When do I eat? What do I eat? How do I eat? How much do I eat? And where do I eat? Please be able to answer all these questions. Why do I eat? When do I eat? What do I eat? How do I eat? How much do I eat? Where do I eat? And if there is something that comes up that's a bit negative, then we need to correct that. Okay? So it's really why, okay? When, what, where, how much, and how. This is really the circle of mindful eating. Okay? So just to end, remember, by changing nothing, nothing changes. So do the work and come back and encourage other participants in the near future. Thank you very much, and I'm going to take questions. Yeah. Yes, Atiana Jalang'o.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm not going to ask a question, just to, as you were summing up, just something that Mary said, being mindful of what she was taking. She has now gone and put up a vegetable garden at her home. So she no longer buys her vegetables from out. So that's another good take from what she shared with us, and also in relation to what we are discussing.
Yeah, and that's interesting because remember, I think it was, what season was that somebody was teaching people how to do gardening?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Ralph. Remember Ralph?
Yes, Ralph, yeah.
Yeah. One of the participants taught people to do gardening. So it's something that you can think about, Yeah. It's something you can think about to make gardens, and we can bring an expert. Maybe if that's a need, that's something we can bring somebody to tell us what to do. Yeah. We have actually many clients from the past doing vegetable gardens. One of the participants who was in Canada, there's a day she called and she showed me her garden. It was very nice. She's like, yeah, she did it. She was in Canada. She did her vegetable garden. Everything she eats come from the garden. Vegetables, spices, everything. I was so proud. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, somebody says those who attend boarding schools tend to eat very fast and don't concentrate on chewing. Yeah, Faith, I was in boarding school, but you can change. This is where we are talking about conscious eating, conscious, pay attention. And the more you chew your food, the more the body is able to you see, like when you eat, the enzymes that helps the body to digest the food. So you start eating whatever you're eating fat, then you have enzymes that digest fat are released. You eat carbohydrates, enzymes that digesting carbohydrates are released. And so the finer it is, the better. So when you eat very fast and you don't chew very well, then you actually tend to eat a lot, because it means the body still has to um has to break it down to absorb. But when you chew it more, the body starts absorbing, and then so you feel that fullness a lot faster. Yeah, somebody says, yeah, I'm a victim. I've been trying to change. Well done. Well done. At least do some work, which is good. Okay. If you don't change nothing, if by changing nothing changes, at least you're changing something. Yeah. So do we have any questions? Any other questions in relation to this? Lydia, what do you have to say?
I'm thinking we should open up the questions a little bit broader. Diabetes, medication, changes that you've seen this week. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody says here, somebody says here that I hardly chew my food and I have to start making conscious effort to chew. Thanks for this one. Okay. Thank you, Catherine. You'll tell us towards the end how that is going. Yeah. And see what happens. And remember, when you make the changes, your costs are cheaper. Look at what Mary shared with us. Your cost of food is cheaper. You're spending less money, and because you're healthy, you're not going to hospital. People go to hospital for things like headaches, migraines, constipation. Those are things that you can change by just following the basics, eating healthy, hydrating, sleeping, getting the sunshine. Okay. Some of them can be medical, but even if you go see the doctor and they prescribe medication, lifestyle and medication do better than just medication alone. Yeah. So Lydia says you can ask any question, not necessarily related to Mary's conversation, not necessarily related to conscious eating, just questions about your health and diet and medication. We have the doctor here, you have the dietitian here, and we also have other dietitians. We have Nemali, and we have many dietitians here who can answer your questions. And this is because last week people had many questions, and because of time, we were not able to answer them. And I want to thank all those who shared their experiences last week. It was really interesting as I was listening. Thank you so much. Yeah. So here we are to answer your questions. So bring them on, bring it on. Lydia, the first one. Okay, go.
Yes, so as I was listening to the recording from last week's, the session we recorded on conscious eating, there was a tip that I found really interesting that when we are eating, it's advisable we eat at a silent room or with very soft music. Like that, we get to know when we get full instead of watching in front of the telly as we normally do, as we watch the news and we are just eating and, when we are already full, but we are concentrating on something else. So, yeah, I decided to try that on Thursday. I have to say it was a little bit boring, but it is true. By the time I was halfway, I could feel I was full. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that was something new that I learned despite being here for a long time.
Okay, thank you. And to be honest, not everybody can afford to be in a silent room and put music. But like we said, conscious eating is making sure that you're eating in a healthy environment. So then, what is your healthy environment? What is this healthy environment? So you need to make sure the environment is not like you're not working, there is not other people doing many things, and so you're not paying attention. So, what's important, even if you're in a busy place, pay attention to what you're eating and pay attention to how your body is actually responding to the food you're eating. So, thank you, Lydia. I think we kind of lost her. I hope she's fine. Yes. Yeah, we're waiting for your questions. Yes, Catherine, please go ahead. And we have nutritionists here, so Nemali and yes, Catherine, please go ahead. Okay, unmute. Okay, you can unmute now. Oh, you're not able to unmute? Okay, there you go.
Mine is a comment. I think one of the challenges some of us have is like you have such a limited time because you want to wake up and go to your commitments. So like breakfast, you hardly have time to prepare a good breakfast. So we find ourselves just eating what is available, and even that time to eat and listen to what you're eating is not there because you want to go to wherever you're supposed to be. So I think that's where that for me is a challenge to eat breakfast and eat it well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. But the thing is this, you actually don't have to prepare breakfast in the morning. You can prepare your breakfast earlier in the day or more. So let me tell you what I do. I always make all my proteins. I make my chicken, I make my fish, I make all my proteins during the weekend. So my proteins are ready. Okay? The only thing I actually cook when I get home is vegetables. Okay? And even starches, they take a very short time. Yeah? So I come home, I'll make my little gali, I'll make potatoes, because I'm just making a little. And then, so I always have food. In the morning, I'll wake up and just warm and go. So you can't plan more. If you expect to wake up in the morning and make food, that is not sustainable for sure. But then also you should be more motivated. You should be motivated. Why are you eating? Why are you making all these changes? Because you know that if you actually make all these changes, it will help you. It is going to help you. In this program, since we started, remember season 7 was 2 years ago. So when was season 1? You get? Okay, now we're in season 13. People have reversed cancer. People have reversed autoimmune condition. Not reverse, put it into remission. Put cancer in remission. Countless people have put type 2 diabetes in remission. People have improved their immune system. They're energetic. They were losing energy. People have lost weight. So then you have to be motivated. So if you have children, what is your plan for them? Are they going to eat healthy now? Or you want them to start eating healthy when they're 16, 17 and you're fighting about it? So something needs to motivate you so that you look at your planning. And remember, we talked about meal planning. We talked about meal planning, grocery shopping. If you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch it. So see these things you need to plan. And then what is motivating you? What is your outcome? What do you want? And remember, we also talked about behavior change. It's not just about the outcome. You see, it means that you have to change your processes. So there's the outcome. Oh, I want to lose weight. I want to lose diabetes. I want to put the diabetes in remission. I have migraines. I have children. I want to help the children eat healthy. That is just an outcome. But for you to achieve this, you have to change your processes. And some of those processes is planning, maybe cooking your food in the evening, And maybe so that it's available for breakfast, you're having a good breakfast, because that's like really for me the most important meal, So changing your processes will help you achieve your outcome. And then changing also your mindset, which is the inner core. Changing your mindset that, you know what, this is, I must eat veg. I mean, Mary McCoy is that mindset. She changed complete mindset, So then you get those outcomes. So Catherine, is not going to be easy, but what do you want? So if you want that healthy outcome, a healthy family, okay, prevent diabetes, put diabetes in remission, then we have to do the work. And the work means changing the processes and changing your mindset. Maybe I've already talked too much. Yes. And we have dietitians. Feel free to add. Yes. Yes, Mami Jane Owiti?
Can I add something just on mindset?
Yes.
Yeah, when she was talking, I was also thinking planning.
Yes.
I'm not a diabetes, but I'm on the borderline, and I've been here for longer than anyone. So I'm here privileged. I'm privileged to be here. I'm like Mary, who talked earlier. So that I'm a DTLC dam.
Yes.
Even if I'm not invited or not, I still want to hear what is going on.
Yes.
So planning is paramount. I'm old, I don't work, but I'm seeing if, particularly in America, is so busy, children are so busy and crazy that if you don't plan, you can eat anything. I remember young people were debating, Kenyans who are here, that they used to wonder, why should you go and take just something and eat? And later on, they found themselves taking pizza and go and eat with the children. Then they realized planning is paramount. It's so paramount that you will have to start from what time do you sleep? If you can cover that, then you have to get time how to prepare your meal, not in the morning for busy, extremely busy people like Dr. Ojwang and other people I see here in USA and many others like Dr. Jalang'o. So it's high planning and thinking and asking yourself why did I join DTLC? Just to hear and then do what I want? Or is it your body? I'm telling my children that it is your body who takes you to go and do that work. If it puts you down, how will you do that work which you are thinking is more important than your health? So each one of us is asked, why did I join DTL? Just to do what I want, or to think about the education, not information, the education I'm being taught. So that's the comment I wanted to say, because I'm still learning, and I've been in DTL since 2022 when I was in the ward, and I presented what I was eating, thinking that is the best. And the doctor told, wow, this is toxic. And here I am in the hospital where I'm thinking they know better. So I say go back, I had to go back to grassroots level and ask myself, what do I want with my health? So it's a serious question. It is true, the system is extremely, extremely busy. But still, what comes first, health or the work? Because that work, you leave it there, somebody will do it. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. Dr. Jalang'o, what do you have to add there? Nemali, are you here today?
I can only emphasize that, yes, it is extremely important to plan. So if you don't have time in the morning, then make your breakfast at night. When you're cooking your supper, make the food enough. Eat a little for supper. You eat your vegetable and a bit of starch for supper, keep the rest for breakfast. So
Yeah.
it works. And then also, if you can do some things, some foods that you can cook during the weekend, boil your legumes over the weekend, make your proteins over the weekend,
Yeah.
then do that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you ask yourself, why are you here? You're here because there are certain things you're doing that are going to derail you. Now, if you keep doing them, are you going to really be expecting new results? So if you expect new results, then you have to do different.
It's called insane. You're insane. The insanity saying, it's a Chinese quote, eh? If you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, then you're literally insane. So if you want different results, then you have got to do something you've never done before. Yes, Nemali.
Sorry, my lights have gone off, so that's why my video is off. But actually, what you're talking about is actually true. If you're doing something and you see a negative result, or you see the same, you're not seeing any changes, then something is definitely wrong, and it's clearly time for you to make a change that is needed. So yeah, and planning is very, very important, especially with diabetes, whereby we say timing is important. So what you have to do is like always know, like on the weekends, Sundays or Saturdays, plan for the week, write down your meals you'll have for the week. You have the grocery list, mark out the foods you'll use, and it will be much easier for you. So yeah.
And you know, in Kenya, and I think even still in Africa, I don't know about, okay, I know about Europe, but in Kenya and many parts of Africa, we actually have help. Most of us have help, like you have a helper, you know, a house help who's going to help you with the cooking and the things like that and the planning. So if you have help and you're still struggling, then you know the problem is actually just planning, eh? But if you live in Europe, you don't have those kind of pleasures, eh? So you have got to plan if you're going to make it. I like the way Mami Jane says, people who are busy like Dr. Ojwang, me, I don't have help. I cook my own food, I clean my own house, even I wash my own car. The security guy says, hey, Mama, let me just wash today so I can get some pocket money. And it's just having a good routine where you wake up early and you do your work. So it's really just planning. And just remember those processes. If you want to achieve your outcomes, you have to change the processes and you have to change your mindset. There's no two way about it, you know. Yeah. The Cameroonian says there's no shortcut to climbing a palm tree. You know how tall they are and it's single. There's no shortcut. You must just climb it to the end, you know. Yeah. Okay, so did we have another question here? Yes, we do. Yeah. So, Atino, last week you said your dietitians were answering questions. How is it that I'm the one who's answering questions today? Yeah. So the question is, what's the question again? Yeah. Please, what is the relations regarding dry, canned, and nutritional value in all? Okay. Very good. So, you know, dried is simple. The water is simply removed, okay? The water is removed from these vegetables, and so it is dried. So it's like concentrated, you know? So the advantage here, it has a long shelf life, you know, and so you just cook it and use it the way you want and add water. And this is really good usually for people who live in deserts where they can't grow vegetables. And actually now we have more and more people are doing this a lot, okay? Then of course, frozen vegetables, they retain nutrients often close to fresh vegetables, but I personally can never eat frozen vegetables, but they're there. They retain, but they taste differently. Some of them, if it's not frozen properly with the proper containers, then it gets a fridge burn. So the flavor actually completely changes, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's got excellent nutrition value. It's been preserved and it is, you know, convenient. So you can freeze. But some vegetables you can't freeze because they will just Like you can't cut vegetables and freeze. So if you're freezing vegetables, then you have to think about how you're freezing them. It's a whole topic, yeah. And of course, fermentation usually it's what fermentation is actually just introducing bacteria, okay? So this is usually it introduces bacteria to convert natural sugars into acids. I'm just talking from my head. I need to do some more research, but it really breaks down the sugars into some healthy acids. So fermentation is very good for people who actually have it improves digestibility. So it's actually good for the gut, and it can also provide lab beneficial microbes in the gut, yeah. So it's good for the gut. Then, of course, usually the flavor usually changes, okay? So they're all nutritious. There are different ways of making vegetables, and there's nothing wrong with it. So so people just have preferences. I like fermented vegetables, and I'm sure Mary comes from that community where there's a lot of fermented vegetables. Yeah. Yes, and dietitians here, feel free to observe. Oh, so that's from YouTube. So maybe we need to write out something and then add it. But if they're listening, very good. The other one is, please, what is the best time for exercise, before or after eating? Yeah, Dr. Jalang'o, would you like to answer that? I remember you have a certification in fitness and exercise.
Okay, it depends on why you're exercising. If you want to lose weight and also if you're looking at being consistent, morning is the best to lose weight and for consistency, because once you exercise and then you go about your day, there's nothing that will interrupt you so that you miss your exercise. However, after eating, you can do the heavy exercise. You can maybe take a brisk walk. Okay. Reason being, one of the things that has been associated with like taking a walk after a meal, it actually improves glucose. It lowers the glucose. Your glucose doesn't rise as high as it would have gone if you just sat down after eating. Then the other thing is exercising after, let's say, 4 o'clock, like in the evening, and especially if it's strenuous exercises now interrupts the body functioning. Because as we are heading towards 8 o'clock, your body is closing down. It's heading for shutdown. And here you are introducing something that increases your metabolic rate. So your body goes into a crisis and therefore you produce cortisol. So if you're trying to manage sugar and you're exercising late, then you're going to run into problems. So your best bet usually is do it in the morning, less chances of missing out on it when other things crop up, and it's also the best for weight loss or what I'd say weight management. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So yeah, I mean, many people will say evening, but you also find that people who you can't exercise. When you exercise in the evening, you're super active, so you can't sleep. It interferes with your sleep quality. So morning is the best, but you can also find time that works for you. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So is there I saw another question here. Please, which foods are high in iron? Okay. So there are certain foods that are high in iron. Then it also depends, how do you eat these foods? Because you have to eat healthy so that you make sure there is absorption of iron. So if you have an iron, sometimes I avoid talking about things like this in public because people need to understand how these foods work. Because if you eat healthy, you don't need high iron foods. You see, if you eat healthy and eat a variety, then we don't need to prescribe high in iron. High in iron, yes. So if you have a condition, you have anemia, and you eat healthy, you will improve. But just to answer your question, we have organ meats are usually very high. Most organ foods are very high in iron. Okay, and then red meat also high in iron. Fish high, chicken and fish. So most proteins are high, and then we have lentils and beans. They're also good in iron. Soya bean is always the king. It has a lot. Okay. Then you have your dark green leafy vegetables. They're not high, but they're good. But we can always provide a list of what is high and in terms of levels. But you see, almost everything is high in iron, really. So it's really, and remember, when you're eating, when you have iron deficiency anemia, then you have to eat foods high in iron. Then you also have to make sure that you're eating foods that are high in vitamin C, so that to improve absorption of these nutrients. Yeah. Okay. So I hope that answers the question.
And they also avoid eating blockers of absorption.
Blockers, yes. Tea. And I've seen that is a habit that people are not, and many dietitians in this group are doing that. Tea with food, coffee with food. Those are your blockers, you know. Alcohol with food. Yeah. So just eating iron foods is not enough. You know, how are you eating it? What are you eating it with? You know? Yeah, very good. Yeah. So I think we need to go to circadian rhythm. Now it's even already getting late. So for circadian rhythm, I want to, let me see. So we have a quiz that we are going to send you a link so you can evaluate your circadian rhythm. But I'm going to actually just play a short video, 13-minute video, and then we can discuss it. Let's let somebody else talk to us. But really, what is circadian rhythm? You know, circadian rhythm is a natural internal clock that internal process that regulates the sleep-wake pattern, okay? It regulates the sleep-wake pattern, and that means it controls everything, every cell. It controls the brain, you know, okay? It influences every processes in your body, from hormonal function to excretion to think of all the processes. So circadian rhythm is very important. So if we mess up with our circadian rhythm, it messes up our health. And remember, we say sleeping is a natural doctor, okay? And so when you don't sleep, you mess up your circadian rhythm. And of course, there are many things that interfere with your circadian rhythm, like sleeping late, like lighting. You have bright light like this until midnight, 1 in the morning. It interferes. Eating too much food at night interferes with your circadian rhythm. So it's really a rhythm that is able to regulate the sleep-wake pattern, where you have a particular time that you wake up. Like it's 5 o'clock, you're awake. It's 9 p.m., you're going to sleep, you know. Okay, so but for now, let's listen to what is one of my favorite researchers in this. It's called Sachin Panda. You've heard it from the professor. Hmm? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Questions and comments? Yeah. So, and that brings us to one of the things he says is a restricted time eating, which means you eat particular time. Maybe by 6 p.m. you've already eaten. I think we've been preaching that. But one of the books we want to read is, we want to read 2 books. If you're living with diabetes, you want to read the Diabetes Code. If you're not diabetes and you just want to learn to eat healthy, then you're going to read the Obesity Code, which we are going to give you about 3 weeks to read. We are going to be reviewing it towards in the last sessions. Okay. Yes. So any questions in relation to that? Because to optimize your circadian rhythm, okay, you know, the takeaways is you want to sleep 8 hours. Please remember that we have 24 hours in a day. 8 hours is for working, 8 is for sleeping, and if you want to have extra, tap on the other 8. So really, you should be able to get your 8 hours. I mean, 24 hours is a lot. We don't think about it, yeah? And then avoid eating at least 1 hour before when you wake up. At least don't eat immediately or eat 1 hour later so that your organs can wake up, okay? Then time restricted eating, which I've said, daylight and sunshine. You know, it's a natural doctor. So you need to make sure you're getting sunshine. You're getting sunshine. You need to make sure that you're out. So whether it is gloomy during the day, you still need to get out. Make sure you're always out for half an hour to an hour, because what happens is people are actually deficient in vitamin D. We are living in the tropics and people actually have vitamin D deficiency. It's unbelievable. But this is because you have a habit waking up very early, into the car or into the public transport, get to the office early, stay in the office the whole day, and leave when it is dark. So you need to make time to get out. And then, of course, daily exercises, okay? Like we said earlier, find the time that suits you. Morning works for me, afternoon works, but if you're exercising in the evening and it affects your sleep, then you shouldn't exercise at that time. Yeah. And then what was the sixth one, Atieno? I forgot.
Winding down.
Winding down.
Correct.
Thank you. Winding down before sleep. 3 hours. So don't be eating food and then you're jumping into bed. Yes. Okay. So, and you remember circadian rhythm is the longevity is in our genes. Okay. Yes, eventually we know we will die, but do you want to die a vegetable and you're sick and you're taking thousands of medications? Or you die when you're looking good and feeling smart? You die because it's old age, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Jalang'o, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up, because there are two critical components when you look at the circadian rhythm. One is lifespan, you see. You may want to live long, but do you want to live long supported by medication and suffering from several diseases? Or one, do you want a long health span whereby you're living a long life, but you have so many years, the bulk of your years you're living free of disease. So you want to lengthen your health span and not just your lifespan.
Lengthen thy lives. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think somebody says, does that include water, the hour? I don't understand. Yeah, usually you should finish your water by maybe 8 p.m. latest, so that you're not waking up at night to go to the bathroom, you know. Yeah.
Again,
But
two-thirds
not
of
at
the
4.
water before 3 p.m., isn't it?
Sorry?
Two-thirds of the water should be before 3 p.m.
And then the last third is up to even 6 p.m. You should be able to finish your water, really. Yeah. Because the more you go into the night finishing your water, the more likely you're going to wake up a few times to go and pee, and that's interrupting your sleep. Yeah. Okay. So Mary, you said I'm losing you. So did you hear everything? Is there something that you missed out? Okay. So every Monday we try to finish in an hour. Then we go on to 1.5 hours. Then you're still going on. Yeah. Over to you, Lydia. So my parting shot this week, stop those TikToks. When we say winding down, stop the TikTok, stop, like, rest. No phones when you're 3 hours before bed. Leave it. You know, stop watching TikTok until 3 in the morning. It's not helping your life. So the less you sleep, you know, the less you actually lower your lifespan. There's another gentleman, also a professor, who his research is in sleeping. I'll share the video. What's his name? Matthew. Okay. Matthew Walker or something like that. He says just sleeping like 6 hours reduces your lifespan by 10 years. You know, yeah. You know, and research has shown it. So you want to make sure you're sleeping, guys. You're sleeping 8 hours. You have 24 hours. If you've not been sleeping 8 hours, work it. It's part of the planning. Plan for your meals. Plan to sleep early. Plan to spend time with family. You know, yeah. Okay. So the book titles will be shared in the group, and we'll give you the hard copies. So take your pick and please read. Because like Mary said, do the work. If you're not doing the work, then don't expect different results. Yeah. So my parting shot, sleep. This sleep 8 hours. That is one. And then in relation to conscious eating, just be fully aware of why you're eating. Yeah. Thank you. Dr. Jalang'o, then we leave it to Lydia.
Mine is, it's not just about a long life, but it's also about a healthy life. So rethink your choices.
Yep. Think your choices. That's good. Thank you. Lydia can make a poster from that. She's good at that. Over to you, Lydia.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ojwang, for that interesting session. Today, you've actually introduced another dimension in this lifestyle journey, timing. It came out very clearly that good health is not about only what we do, but also about when we do it. Thank you so much. That was very, very informative. So I think we got the challenge of the week. There are two. Sleep for 8 hours and then be fully conscious of why you're eating. So we'll share that tomorrow morning and then we can start off. So thank you so much to all our facilitators, Dr. Ojwang, Dr. Jalang'o, the nutrition team, Nemali, those working behind the scenes. We truly, truly thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for giving your time and your knowledge to support us. To Mary, of course, thank you so much for coming back 2 years later to share your experience with us. We hope it encouraged you. To our season 13 participants, well done. We are now in week 9. Keep showing up, keep asking those questions. We are getting closer to the finish line, but remember the finish line of the program is really the starting line of a whole lifestyle. So I wanted to leave you with these words from these are words by Aristotle. He says, we are what we do repeatedly. So aim for consistent habits that you can repeat because eventually those habits become part of your life. And finally, for just a minute, we wanted to share with you our DTLC dream. Our vision is to take DTLC beyond the borders. We would love to translate this program into different international languages as well as local languages and even African vernacular languages so that more people living with diabetes can access this practical, life-changing health education. So how can you support us? You can help us take DTLC further by connecting us with organizations that could actually sponsor or even fund our work. Or you can actually sponsor a participant who may not be able to afford the program or support us financially as we work to expand DTLC into more countries and even more languages. So if you are an organization or you know an organization that could partner with us, please get in touch with us. And then together we can take this education to people who really, really need it. DTLC family, thank you for another beautiful evening together. Remember our challenge of the week? That is now on our side. Have a wonderful week ahead. And like Dr. Sachin Panda said, have a circadian week ahead. Goodbye, friends. Good night.